For the first time in more than 5.5 years, we finally tonight have a few new answers to a question that has loomed over Indiana and over the town of Delphi. Who killed Abby Williams and Libby Jones?
From the end of the bridge to, you got to go through. Now, I believe that the bodies were found about 50.
Born from a family's grief and determination. In April of 2020, Army soldier Vanessa Guillen went missing while stationed at one of the largest military installations.
That little music in the background that goes, "Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious."
Right.
Knew about it or was there. He's as guilty as the person who committed
Chilling details in the arrest of a suspected serial killer caught before he could strike again.
Him, they dropped the ball, man. They said he went AWOL, and that he was a deserter, and nobody went to look for him.
Today is not a day to celebrate. With the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder.
Like I said, we're going back. We were asked last time to kind of talk about the food, the grub truck video, and kind of give our perspective of it. The press release from the police department, it indicated that they're still trying to put pieces together from that night. Does that worry you at any point or at any bit that they're still trying to put those pieces together?
It's been over 5 weeks since little Kaylee Anthony vanished. Her mother, Casey, has been arrested for lying to police. She's being held without bail.
Hey, greetings from the year 3000. It still sucks. This is Philip J. Fry, and you're listening to The Drunken Turkey Show, your one stop for this sort of thing. Hit that button, like and subscribe. You know what to do, just like every other podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to The Drunk Turkey Show. I'm your host, Daniel J. Alongside with me, as usual, Hyman G. Big Blue was here. He had a little disappearing act happen. I think he's about to pop back up before he comes in. Hyman, how you doing? You drinking tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Yeah, I am. I'm drinking some Bird Dog and some Dr. Pepper. Pretty good.
Man, I might go grab a beer here in a few minutes to drink with you. I hadn't drank or thought about drinking. I have some water here, but man, I can't let my fellow homie drink alone. You know,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. I'll go get that here in a minute. If Steelers fan is listening in, that a Pina beer would be pretty nice. The pineapple one with chamoy. What's up, Big Blue? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's those feds. Once StreamYard kicks in, he likes to kick me out, man.
They're fine. They're trying to find you, man. They're trying to find you.
Yeah, they're just mad that you haven't come out with that calendar yet.
Yeah,
that's true. They're hacking your server right now, trying to see where those pictures are.
It's a good thing. I'm old school. I use Polaroids.
Good. So tonight we're going to be talking about a case that we hadn't covered yet. Wait, hold on one second. I'll be drinking with you, Jaime.
There it is.
We'll be covering the Nicola Bulley case. This is a case out of across the pond. We haven't really covered it. We haven't deep dived into it. So we're going to today kind of talk about the facts, the evidence, what's out there, look at some videos. We have a video of the area and the walk that she made to give us a better perspective. But for those who follow us and aren't aware of who Nicola Bulley is, she's a missing person who went missing on January 27th after dropping off her 2 young daughters at school. Yeah. And she then took her Springer spaniel named Willow for a walk by the river, something that she did commonly. It wasn't uncommon for her to do so. She was out there seen a couple of times on that river walk area in the River Wyre in Lancashire. During the walk, she was on a teleconference call and never got off the call, went missing, vanished out of thin air, still missing. There's been a lot of speculation as to what may have happened, what led up to her disappearance, things of that nature. Guys, I know this is something that's not, in the United States, obviously.
Yeah.
How familiar were you about this case? We'll start off with you, Jaime.
I was listening to it a lot. A lot of other podcasts were doing it and stuff. You know what I mean? And I jumped on a couple of times, and I was into the press conference that he had, and they didn't give too much details because it's an ongoing investigation. So, right. but I do have some sort of insight. You know what I mean? On what's going on, the facts, and what the police have so far, and to the point where they're saying there's no foul play involved to this point.
Right. What about you, Blue? What do you think so far? Just kind of what you heard before we deep dive into it and look at all the facts and the videos.
Yeah, I mean, I seen it pop up a couple times on the feed, that she went missing, and they've had dive teams looking for her. So
that's true.
They believe that she's in the river somewhere. That is
true. So here are the the timeline of events that occurred that day. She dropped off her children at 8:40 a.m. Now, we'll kind of bring something that kind of came out in perspective today. Apparently she had a problem with alcohol. It's been released, and that she was possibly dealing with her, I guess she was going through menopause, and dealing with it, she was consuming alcohol. And in fact, a couple of weeks prior to her going missing, police had responded to her residence because of an alcohol-related event. This all occurred at 8:40 a.m. Yeah, she drove to drop off her kids at the school. Like, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that alcohol played an effect into this, given the time of morning?
I really don't think so, especially because she was on the conference call or whatever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, even though it wasn't like a conference call per se, like it's more of a listening type of call. Right. But like I don't think at this point I don't think there's any evidence to show that she was under the influence at the time.
Right. What about you, Blue?
Yeah, I think if there was alcohol suspicious, like driving through school zones and having to avoid, the kids that are crossing the street and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure somebody would have been suspicious. I don't think it would have been involved at that time.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up, Blue, because she did have a conversation with somebody at the school, and I think that somebody would have picked up on that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and definitely would have contacted the proper authorities, especially if she had just driven to the school. And so, I understand why they make that relevant, but I feel like, to a certain extent, that there's almost like a narrative trying to be filled. Yeah. If that makes any sense. Like the police have come out and stated multiple occasions that they believe that she's fallen into the river, no foul play, right?
Yeah.
And to throw out the fact that she may have had an alcohol problem, I would like that to be corroborated with evidence that she was under the influence of alcohol that day. Mm-hmm. Perhaps somebody that she spoke to, because she spoke to other people that were on the trail. I mean, I don't think that any of those folks that have come forward to talk about their experience with her that morning has stated that she seemed to be under the influence of alcohol. And so I find that to be kind of like, all right, I get why you're saying it. Could it be a factor? Yeah, but 8:40 in the morning, and you're like, she's pounding beers all night and not gone to sleep, maybe. But I assume somebody would have identified that while talking with her. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Blue.
I was gonna say I know some people that are pretty good alcoholics, man. That they don't want to wake up in the morning and take their kids to school. Somebody normally gets their school and takes their kids to school for them. You know what I mean? That's how bad they are. And like the kids, if they look presentable, hair done and everything. So, I mean, by the pictures, I guess the teachers would have said something in that nature, like, oh, they was coming messy in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can have an alcohol problem at night and then just be sober by the morning when they're used to it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like from the was it a ring camera? Was it a ring camera? The one that they saw her putting up stuff in the back of the car and everything.
Yeah, it was her house security.
Yeah,
In fact, I got a
she
picture of that. I'll pull that up
yeah
here in a second.
she didn't. I mean, she did that really like she didn't have trouble with any of that. And not only that, but like there was witnesses that talked to her on the trail, which was like at least 3 witnesses that we know of, right? There's been talk about a couple of fishermen being out there and seeing her out there. So I don't know. They haven't come forward yet, so we don't know what the story is with them.
But fishermen on the river, I mean,
On Friday?
Yeah, like maybe they saw something, but I would assume if they had, they would have came forward. I know that there's been people that have assumed that because there were fishermen there that they were suspicious. I'm not entirely. I don't see the connection between fishing on a river and kidnapping or abduction.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so this is the last images of Miss Bulley prior to her going and dropping off her children. She's wearing, apparently this is black. It looks blue, but it is a black coat. And so let's see. Hold on. This is Miss Bulley and her boyfriend, longtime boyfriend, Paul Ansel, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He's not suspected to be involved in this either. And he does not believe, he came out earlier also and said 100% does not believe that she went into the river.
Yeah. He came out on the interview, right? He sounded real calm and collected. And he like he said, he stated that he does not believe that she's in the river, that she fell and is in the river. So he's like, he wants, the police or the law enforcement out there to, turn every stone around, to look under every stone for her, which is like, respect,
Right.
And one thing that I wonder is, because it's in the UK, man. The UK has CCTV everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's got to be a video capture of her throughout the trails. I know I read the reports saying that there's like no camera on one of the entrances and a little gap. Other than that, there's cameras everywhere else. So they have her on camera throughout the day.
Right. Yeah. There is a lot of CCTV out there, and we'll talk about that. I have them marked on here. And they use that as another piece of evidence to prove that she didn't leave this area. But I don't know. I'm not too confident about that. We'll continue. So she is seen at 8:45 down the river path above river. I believe it's pronounced Wyre. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Traveled at 8:45. Is seen a couple of times between 8:50 and 9:10. At 9:10 is the last sighting that she was seen with her dog Willow in the upper field. This is the description of those two. There's the lower field, upper field. And then she, at 9:20, based on her data, her cell phone data, she is seen heading back, or not seen, but it is believed that she had head back towards the bench. At 9:33, another witness comes and finds the dog along with the phone on the bench. Let me show you guys. So one thing to note was Willow was bone dry.
Yeah.
Now, as far as Ms. Bulley, she sent a text message throughout that time while she was walking and arranged to have a play date with a friend's, so that their children can play later on. So that kind of leads people or leads me to believe that she was at least planning, she was planning things for the future. So she wasn't planning on, taking herself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, usually when someone does that, they don't plan future events. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean,
And so,
if they do, they'll probably be saying bye instead of saying they'll see you later.
right, exactly. Instead of making plans. At 9:01 a.m., Nicola logged into a Microsoft Teams call for work. She was a mortgage broker. She worked from home. She got to work off of her phone, so she just often logged in, had it on speaker and on mute. Was seen by the folks in the trail that spoke with her. Stated that she was talking with the phone away from her like this, and the speaker with the loudspeaker on. At 9:20, the phone remained on the bench, was recovered 10 minutes later. The team's call had ended. However, she still remained logged in. And so that's the bench. Let me see if I can find a better picture of that area real quick.
Yeah. Was the phone on the bench or near the bench?
I believe it was on the bench.
On the bench.
And so it was on the bench, and the dog was found bone dry between the bench and the fence, running back and forth.
You know what? You know what I noticed on? Well, it's a picture, obviously, but like even on video, like I don't see no current.
Yeah, and it's only about 2 feet of water as well.
Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like there's enough current to
take her all the way downstream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or like at least for her to like struggle to swim and tire out. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't see like current being that strong. I know it opens up into a bigger river and then it goes into to the sea, I guess, right?
Right.
But they say they have divers out there, or they had divers out there, and they haven't seemed to find anything using sonar.
Right. And real quick, guys, if you guys don't mind hitting that like button for us, we got about 173 people in here. We're going to get that like button going so we can get the algorithm going. I'm going to put this on while we talk about it. I have this muted so we don't need to worry. This is from Street Hawk. Did some excellent work. He's out there in the UK. Filmed the walk, and it actually throws his phone in a couple of his videos. I'll pull one up. Throws the phone into the water so that we can see how murky that water is. And how the current is. And so I have this sped up. This is the area that she would have walked into. Let me pause this real quick. This is Street Hawk, like I said before. We'll go back here. That is the entrance to the river path right here. And just so we can show you guys where he entered into. He turned right here. That sign missing Nicola Bulley was right there, and that's the direction that he's heading in. And so, just to kind of give you an idea where the water level is, the current, the shallowness of the water as they're walking through. Patricia says it was rapid on that day.
I mean, if you think about it, like the stuff that she was wearing, when it gets wet, it'll be real heavy. It'll be real heavy for her to swim out. With that.
That's true.
That bigger coat. I believe she has some sort of like boots. I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they could be heavy.
Yeah, well, I think they were like hiking trail shoes, but they're heavier than running shoes, obviously. But yeah, this kind of gives us an idea of what the area looks like for us that are stateside, never been to this area. Fenced off. And so she, the dog was found without the harness, which was something that wasn't. It was common for her to do. There wasn't anything that kind of lead anybody, in my opinion. I didn't see anything like any red flags showing that she'd want to just get up and go, get up and run away, leave her family behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see that in this case. Now I'm not saying that something nefarious happened either. I'm not sure, but I'm leaning more towards accidental or something other than her leaving or taking herself out because she's making plans. I don't know, perhaps. And so that was that spinning door. This is where in the middle of the that walk area, this little building that he kind of looks into.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the water. This is where that upper and lower field are at to the left of him.
Yeah, I don't. I see. It looks pretty still to me. The water.
And here's the thing: that the diver came forward and said he doesn't think she fell in the water because the mud was so. He thinks that she wouldn't have gone far. She would have gotten stuck in the mud.
Yeah. Well, when this video is done, can you go back to that picture of the bench? Oh, can you tell there's like a slip or like some sort of tracks on the mud or something?
Yeah, I think he actually goes towards the bench when he does Willow. Okay. Yeah, we'll be able to see. See, this right here is where that Ronan Waters is behind this fence. Mm-hmm. I guess there's some CCTV around this area as well.
Yeah. I mean, even like over there, like I think every car almost has dash cam.
Yeah.
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 I believe it's because of the insurance scams, right? A lot of people having.
That would be surprised.
Yeah, they have to protect themselves from people trying to say that they got hit by a car when they actually didn't.
See, right there, the water looks a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. It looks like a little bit of a current.
Somewhat, yeah. There could be an undercurrent also.
Yeah. Let's see. If this might not be the video where he goes to the bench. It's not. He walks back up. So you wanted to see which picture? Oh, you know what? It's on the other video. Give me a second. All right. So it is.
So it does get a little bit deeper in that area, you know what I mean?
Yeah. A little bit. Here, let's go right here. This is where I want to get to. This is where she was. So this is the area where the bench is. The bench is right behind him. He'll turn back and look. That's the lower field. Let's see.
And this is a place you regularly visit, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, she did. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think there's been a point where they can say that she fell into the water. So that tells me that they haven't found anything concrete saying that this is the spot where she fell in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now,
no, if she would have jumped in, then that would have been a different story.
Well, yeah, that's true. If she would have jumped in, then there wouldn't be that sign of falling or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But she had her phone. It was still on the. It was still connected to the team meeting. And she put the phone down. So something made her put the phone down. Now, if it was found on the chair, which is what I read, That tells me that she, especially if she likes to hold the phone in front of her out and she put it down, then something happened and she just put it down. I think if somebody would have grabbed her, or it would have been an abducted type of situation, that the phone wouldn't have been on the bench. I mean, it could have, but more than likely probably fallen off the bench.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that leads me to believe that something happened. Perhaps there was another animal and she got up to get her dog and fell in.
Yeah.
Do you find it at all suspicious that the dog didn't jump in after her?
Was it when they saw the dog? How was he by the bench or was he farther down the river?
No, the dog was over here, between the bench and the fence.
And you said he wasn't wet or anything, right?
No, bone dry. Only 10 minutes later, so it wasn't long enough for the dog to dry up. I mean.
Yeah. And if I don't know, I don't know how a dog would do it, but like if the lady have fallen in, right, and let's say the current took her, I'm guessing the dog would go with her, right? Like at least through the bank, follow her.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Right? Like I don't know. But then again, like if she was abducted, like they would have heard, at least the witnesses would have heard the dog barking or making a commotion or something, you know. I mean, it also depends on how far along the trail she saw these witnesses, you know what I mean?
Right.
But like at this point, like I don't think the dog would just be chilling there unless she left the dog there on purpose, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Now I know I see a couple comments about the Fitbit. During the presser earlier today, there was an update presser. They said that her Fitbit wasn't connected to an account for several months or something like that. And so that's why they couldn't use that. Now, their working hypothesis has been, and they've stated this, is that she fell in somewhere, right? And let me see, I'm just playing this. They think that that's just these guys walking down, but they think that because they have CCTV around the area, that they don't believe that she left. Let me pull this out real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what they said that they have the Grapes Pub, which is back here near the entrance to the river path. And so they're saying that if, the only path that they suspect that she could have gone is gone back southbound. Because if she turned up, she would have came out on their cameras. They have cameras on Alument Lane. I'm guessing it's probably these houses out here. And so they're saying that I'm not sure if this goes all the way down this direction. It could be this entire area has CCTV, and they don't believe that she came in this direction. And then there's the Ronan Water. They have CCTV at the gate, enters field, and enter site. And so the enter site, I'm sorry. So there's several CCTV devices in this area, so they don't believe that she left there.
I believe they said that only one exit point did not have a CCTV, right?
Yeah, it was this one, the entrance, the most commonly used.
And they're asking the drivers, right, with dash cam,
right,
to see if they can see anything during that time period.
Yeah, that's crazy that so many folks use the dash cam out there. I don't think that's very common here in the States. How many? No. I mean, well, at least in our part of Texas, I don't see very many people with dash cam footage.
Yeah, I believe the only ones I see is like Uber drivers or Lyft drivers or whatever. They have the dash cam, but like for other than that, I rarely see just regular folks out there just having the dash cam. At least in my town at least. But then again, my town's real small, so.
Yeah, I see a couple people have them here in San Antonio, but it's always just like to protect themselves because people don't know how to drive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think more people should get them. Yeah, I think more people should probably get them.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the fact that they have dash cams, I know in Japan they have everybody has them because they do a lot of scams. I don't know if you ever seen those videos where they throw themselves at cars and then they try to, sue for insurance or whatever. It's crazy. So like a lot of people have dash cams for that because a lot of people have been getting sued because they've been throwing themselves on their cars and whatnot.
That's insane, dude. That is insane.
In that country, they're liable for their damages.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
traffic for somebody to run them over.
When I was looking up this case itself, I came across another case back in 2016 from it was a Swedish woman that went out to a hiking trail and with her dog, and they ended up the husband didn't hear from her in a while, so he went out there and ended up finding her. She was beaten to death, right?
Right.
And they were accusing the husband, because most of the time when stuff like this happens, the first one they go to is either the significant other, right?
Right.
And in this case, they ended up accusing the husband. They ended up going to trial, and they ended up, finding him guilty of murdering his wife.
Dang.
Yeah. So like when the case was going, like when the case was going, the trial was going, right? They were trying to accuse him of this murder, right? And the defense called an expert, and the expert came up and said that actually what happened was that the beating all the injuries that she had on her body was actually caused by an elk that was in heat. An elk killed this lady.
Dang.
And it stomped her to death, man. And they ended up, dropping the charges and everything on the husband. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how this guy was about to go to jail for something that he had no part in.
When did this happen?
It happened back in 2016. Don't ask me names because I can't remember the names. I barely remember mine. And I remember I came across it and I was like, oh, that sounds eerily familiar. But it's just like the fact that it could look like a murder and then it actually isn't. It's crazy, right?
Well, there's one, the staircase killer. I don't know if you've seen that on Netflix. And this guy, he ended up having I think it was 2 or 3 wives that ended up, or 2 or 3 people close to him. I think one was a girlfriend, one was a wife, one may have been a nanny. Mm-hmm. All passed away by falling down the stairs.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And on the last one, he got convicted of a murder.
Mm-hmm.
And his theory is that there was an owl or something had gone in, or a hawk, and screwed up, attacked his wife and screwed her up while she was at the top of the stairs, and she fell down because of that. And so I was like, man, what you're saying kind of sounds like something that guy was sort of saying, but with a different animal. And and he ended up getting found guilty though. They didn't believe his story.
I think I believe they found blood, right, on the ceiling that he didn't clean up or something like that.
Yeah. There was blood splatter on the ceiling that ended up. What do you call it?
Convicted him pretty much.
Yeah. And so watch. This is.
So somebody asked me to say Uber. I don't know why.
You gotta say it slow.
Uber.
All right, so this is the stream. This guy's gonna throw his phone in here so we can see how. I think he's gonna throw it. This might be the wrong video. No, yeah, there it is. Just to give us an idea. This is Street Hawk. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to him. Let him know that the Drunk Turkey Show sent you.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's no visibility down there.
Not very much. Not much at all. But here's the thing. So, Blue, you're the medical expert here. If she was if she was in the water for the last, she went missing for what, 20 days now? Wouldn't she be floating by now?
I would say so. Yeah. They
So
normally start floating after a
what
couple
happens
days.
to a body when it's put in the water?
It, just like anything, it starts to expand, it starts to swell.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah. So from my knowledge or my understanding of a body in the water is, the gases are gonna start to swell up. The body's gonna expand, and you're gonna have a floater, and it's disgusting. Like when you see those things, like it's when they pop sometimes. And I hate to be graphic, but those are the things that happen, and usually happen by this point. And at this point, this isn't something that takes into effect and then what's the word I'm looking for? Somebody just sinks and they rot. That's not what happens when a body goes into the water.
Yeah.
And this happened in Lancashire, right? Lancashire in the UK.
Yeah, Lancashire. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say,
man. In
man.
the house.
But I know from from watching shows and missing people and drownings and stuff like that from cases that happen around the world. I know that like usually men float face down and women float face up.
Really?
Yeah, there's something they say that because of the breast and whatever,
right?
They float face up most of the time. But in this case, if she did fall in there with all that clothes that she had on, because apparently it's still pretty, it's pretty cold out there, pretty fresh, right?
Right.
I think the weight of the clothes might push her down, might not let her, not as much, not in the beginning, but after a while they'll start.
Yeah. No, the bloating is it's significant.
Yeah.
And like that's why people that are even like tied down and thrown under, like their flesh will come off and they'll float to the top also. And so I feel that she would have been up already floating. But let's look at this area real quick. Let's pull this up.
Let's check it out.
So it's this small river. It's not big. This isn't a big area. I don't know. I mean, this doesn't look like it's heavily wooded or anything. So like if she were to have like pulled off on like her body would have floated off to the bank. Like I feel like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, not only that, but like from when she went missing and then the divers came in, how long was that?
It wasn't very long. I'm not entirely sure how long it was, but it wasn't very long.
Yeah, I don't think if that was the case, I think they would have found her in the river. You know what I mean? Like somewhere down the river, if the current wasn't too strong. I guess it just depends on how it was at that specific time, the current. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like honestly, man, something else must have happened.
So here are probably what are my logical options are. She accidentally fell in the river, which we are having a hard time believing, but possible. I mean, it's plausible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She split. She took off on her own, wanted something, a different life. Somebody abducted her. And do you have any other logical reasons that she could have been missing to this point?
I mean, you said she was going through menopause. I mean, that caused depression, right?
Right.
I mean, even postpartum stuff too. Like it goes from postpartum depression, postpartum. So you can go all the way to like postpartum psychosis, which is really, really like severe. To the point where they don't need like their own kids at the. You know what I mean? And that's what. It could be a factor that, but from what they've told us, it seems like their whole theory is that she fell into the river, and I don't feel like that's the case.
Yeah.
If that was the case, it would have been from the witnesses who were being around the area, also depending how far away they were. They should have heard something. If there was an accident, she would have been screaming, trying to get out. But from what I heard is that she was a good swimmer. Me, I don't know how to swim, so I would have been dead.
Right.
But then again, I'm 6'2", so
that's true. And I mean, this river was only supposed to be 2 feet. Let's just say the rivers were raging. Maybe she sprained an ankle or something, chasing the dog or chasing something away, fell in, or hit her head on a rock. It's not that deep of water, so that if she fell in, she could have, knocked herself unconscious, and then that river just pushed her down. But I feel that there would have been some sort of evidence of that disturbance on the ground going into the water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I mean, they according to the police there, they suspect that if she did leave that area, the only way that she could have gone is south, back towards where her vehicle was.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true, but I did read an article where it says that they were trying to find out if Mercedes can track down her keys, because
I saw that.
You saw that too? Like, I don't know if that's if they put in a request for that, because they can't find the keys. So they're guessing that she had them inside her coat pocket. So they're trying to see if they can track that down. But I don't know if that's gonna lead to anywhere. You know what I mean? I don't know if they can or can't.
That would be interesting, though, because if it went like out of service, right, and the last location was right there near the river, then I guess we can assume that the keys were destroyed at that point, and it's possibly due to water damage. Thank you, Alyssa Anson, for becoming our newest YouTube member. We appreciate you guys. If you guys would consider becoming a member on Fridays, we're going to be doing something on Fridays that are a little bit different. We're going to be doing our regular broadcast show. And then at the end of it, we're going to do a 30-minute encore type of show, stuff that YouTube don't like, maybe perhaps words that YouTube doesn't like, uncensored. And it'll be for members only. It'll happen on Friday night. So if you guys are interested in that and want to watch us continue our conversations, please consider becoming a member. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you, Alyssa, for joining in. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if somebody would have taken her, let's just say that ended up being the case. That's a pretty far walk with somebody against their will from the bench anywhere. Like if they would have left through Alumet Lane, which I don't think they did, because then there's CCTV there. There would be some kind of footage of a vehicle or somebody going through there, right? Yeah. This direction is pretty tough to get through. I mean, we saw the video. There's gates there, so the only way to go would be to go back through the entrance to get back to a vehicle that was parked either south of Grape Pub, because they have the Grapes Pub, because they have CCTV and don't see anything. And so let's just see how far that is. All right, let's take our little measuring tool. Distance in miles. There's the bench. It's about a quarter mile. About a quarter mile. And so that's a pretty good distance to walk with somebody and hope that nobody sees you down a path that's pretty public. If somebody took her, how would it make sense? What do you think? Where do you see where it would make sense? Because her phone was left here on the bench, so we can assume that that's where the contact was made. So,
if she was taken, yes.
Yeah. What happened? What
man.
logical explanation can we come up with?
If she was taken, she was sitting on that bench with her dog, and she left the phone on the bench, still listening to the conference call, because she said that the conference call was done at 9:20, right?
Yeah.
Around there.
Yes.
I believe if she was abducted, somebody would have come out behind her, maybe forced her. I don't know if with a weapon, with a pistol or a sharp edge weapon, could have intimidated her to walk with him or her
Right.
to a certain car. It's just but like you said, it's a far walk. It's 9:30 in the morning. There's people out there. It's pretty risky if that was the case with the abduction. You know what I mean?
That is true. That is true. Thank you, Miss Thing Bad. Thanks for covering this with the $6.99 super chat. And thank you so much, Cynthia Gaines, for the $5 super sticker. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
All right. So I find it kind of hard, the unwillingly part. Now, we mentioned that she had depression, possibly mixed with, the alcohol, which is a depressant. And, she was going through menopause, things of that nature. Do you think it's possible that maybe perhaps she wanted a different life? Found an exit plan?
I mean, we get midlife crisis. We want to buy a Corvette at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be the case too. I mean, there's possibilities that she could have, she just wanted to leave, I guess, but I doubt she would leave her kids behind.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, man. And like, even her partner or boyfriend or whatever, right? On the interview that he did, he was saying that if anybody did abduct her or took her or hurt her or whatever, that it's going to be local because they would have known the surroundings. Only a local knows all those little nicks and crannies of that trail.
Right. That makes sense. That does make sense. Now somebody goes, husband could have set her up or did something. I'm not sure there's a motive for that or anything that's come about to put the boyfriend. What would he have to gain? He's not married to her. I don't know what the laws are out there when it comes to like child support and things of that nature. But they weren't married. I know maybe the husband set something up, but possible. I don't know if it's plausible. Anything is possible, but probable. I'm not sure.
I hope. I mean, at this point, I hope that the law enforcement did take, at least digital evidence or whatever they could find on the husband and her phone. You know what I mean? To see if anything can lead up to someone or something, or even a clue of maybe, she did do it willingly and jumped in there trying to, for depression or whatnot. I hope that they did that, because a lot of, now with technology these days, you can get busted real quick.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's the digital footprint that's out there that people leave is insane. I don't know. I mean, you had the diver that came forward and said that he had a hard time believing that somebody, would have fallen in there and they not find her by now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you have the boyfriend that also thinks 100% that she's not in the water. You have the phone is right there, on the bench.
Yeah.
So that leads me to believe that something had to have happened for her to leave the phone there.
Yeah, and then also in the press conference, they mentioned the glove, but they said that it had nothing to do with the case.
Yeah, they said that there's been a lot of people out there and that they believe that. I think they alluded that it sounded like they made it believe that somebody out there not related to the case dropped it or left it there by accident. So it's a crazy situation, man. It's a crazy situation, and we'll keep checking into it. I know there's a lot of theories about a lot of different things. There was a red van. I think they looked into that. There was the fisherman. They don't see anything suspicious by it.
But they are asking for the drivers to to check their dash cams and to if they see anything to let the law enforcement know. But other than that, like I don't think they have at this point they don't have anything concrete for them to say it was foul play, right?
Right. They don't suspect there to be foul play or a third party involved. And to answer your question, Jody is cool. She has only a boyfriend. They were never married. It's a long time boyfriend. He is the father of their children. They just never tied the knot. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a crazy situation. It definitely is. I wanted to remind everybody also. So Friday, we're going to be doing another giveaway. We gave away a beanie on Monday to I saw her earlier in the live chat. Deplorable Golden. There you go.
Yeah. She's getting that Friday too.
No. It arrives, I think, on Monday.
Oh, Monday. Okay.
Yeah. And she's getting her beanie. We're gonna have another giveaway. I think we're gonna give away the hat. We have a hat.
Awesome.
That we're gonna be giving that away on Friday, but that's gonna be on our members live. So if you're interested in getting involved into that, hit that join membership. We're getting close to the hour, so we'll be wrapping this up. Again, please hit that like and subscribe button. I think we're over 33K. I'm not sure. I know we were at 33.9 when we started the show, so hopefully we are. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Blue, Jaime, do you have any other thoughts or questions about this case before we let everybody else have?
Man, I don't know, man. Like, it's just it's a mystery. Like, it's a mystery to like. It's just hard to believe that if the divers were out there and they couldn't find anything, they even came on and said that if she was down there, they would have found her. You know what I mean?
Right.
It points to, either she left willingly by herself and left the dog there and left the family that she had behind. It looks like that, or she got abducted. But according to the police, they don't see no foul play involved.
Right. It's a tricky one. We're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to keep an eye on any updates that come through. So please hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Friday, we're going to be covering Idaho again. We're going to be talking about any updates that are coming forth with that one. We're going to have Publicly Buzzed on. We're also going to be talking about the Alec Murdaugh trial that is currently going on.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, we haven't covered it, so we have a lot of questions for Publicly Buzzed on the case. So be prepared, y'all. Be prepared. With that being said, I think Blue got lost somewhere.
Yeah, he was supposed to come back on, I believe, but I guess the feds got to him.
Yeah, he better not narc us. He better not narc on us. Better not narc on us, Blue. We're watching you.
But yeah, hopefully that's the case, man. Like at this point, all we can hope for is that she left willingly and try to do her own thing. I hope she's not, deceased. Hope that's not the case.
Yeah. Hopefully not, man. Hopefully that they do find her and they find her well, and perhaps maybe just maybe confused or something. Our prayers and thoughts go out to her and her family and her friends, anyone involved in the situation.
Her daughters,
for her safe return. Yeah, the kids, man. Those are the ones that it really affects. Thank you, Miss Thing Bad. We appreciate the joining.
Thank you.
Member.
Welcome.
Well, that being said, y'all, we're the Drunk Turkey Show. See you guys in a couple days. Peace out.
Bye-bye.